$100 million. The price of an Airbus 150 passenger jet, the cost of buying around 100 existing McDonald's franchises, the cost of Mukesh Ambani's daughter's wedding. What? The price of a 280-foot super yacht. And you know what else we're seeing more and more of with this $100 million price tag? Basic, run-of-the-mill mansions that happen to be sitting in some of the most premium locations in the world. If you're like me, you probably have a hard time wrapping your head around spending $10 million for a house, let alone $100 million. But I continue to run into headlines with homes that are either listed or recently sold with that magical 9-figure price tag attached. From Malibu to the Hamptons to Hong Kong, today, let's talk about what's going on in the $100+ million price point of luxury real estate. Up first on our list today, we have this guy named Byron Allen who just dropped $100 million for a home in Malibu, California. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but in my opinion, this home is not all that impressive, especially considering the price that he just paid. The home has just over 10,000 square feet of living space. It's got 8 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms. The oceanfront lot is pretty big at 3.6 acres. And you guys can see as I flip through some of these photos, the house is obviously clean and livable and all of that. But to me, it looks dated in a lot of ways. Plus, it just has a very basic and bland finish palette, which is not something you typically see in homes at this price point. Now, obviously, there's a reason that this house was priced so high. As they say, location, location, location is always a big factor. And this estate, located at 27628 Pacific Coast Highway, is sitting in a very ritzy pocket of Malibu called Paradise Cove, which partly helps to justify why it traded so high. I say partly justified because, for one, like I already said, I don't think the finishes in this place are all that impressive for the price point. For two, I cannot believe that somebody paid $100 million for a home that's just 10,000 square feet. That equates to $10,000 per square foot. And for three, aren't we in a recession right now? Seems like kind of a crazy time to drop this much cash on a house. Anyways, this isn't the first big buy of Byron's. He's a media billionaire and he's already amassed a real estate portfolio of around $500 million as of the last report. The original asking price on the house was $127,500,000. So I guess from that standpoint, Byron got a decent deal. But you know who got an even better deal? The seller, because they bought this house for just $20 million back in 2003. That means that the seller of this house walked away with a net profit of around $75 million after commissions and closing costs. Whoa. Next up, we're hopping to the other side of the United States, to the Hamptons, to check out a property where you're gonna get a little bit more bang for your buck. This one, they're asking $150 million, which makes it the priciest home for sale in the area. Now, this house isn't exactly my style either. You guys know that I'm much more into the mid-century modern and contemporary style of architecture. But with that being said, I will admit that this place does seem to kind of fit the description of what I'd expect to see with a price tag like this. The homes include 21,000 square feet of livable space in total. It actually technically includes 2 adjacent lots with 2 separate homes on them. And you've got a ton of land here, 4 acres with 400 feet of beach frontage. The houses have a total of 19 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms. They were built back in the early 1900s, so even though they look very clean and well kept, they have a lot of historic charm. And the property is loaded with amenities, including a tennis court, a movie theater, a billiard room, a fitness center, 2 swimming pools, and did I already say the beach? The location is at 366 and 376 Gin Lane in Southampton, New York, and it's nicknamed La Dune after the sandy dune that's sitting right in front of it. Now, this house is awesome. You're definitely getting a lot for your money if you're the buyer of this home. But based on the location, CNBC says that the property is likely going to be a summer home for somebody, which makes the buyer pool really small, and that has made this home hard to sell. CNBC also goes on to report that according to public records, there's only been 5 homes ever to have sold north of $100 million in the Hamptons, and the all-time record was set back in 2014 when a much larger property sold for $137 million. So I'm no appraiser, but with that knowledge, that puts the value of this La Dune property probably closer to $100 million, at least in my opinion, especially considering the kind of sketchy state of the real estate market that we're in right now. Now it's time we get get out of the United States and zoom over to Hong Kong. This time to check out Hong Kong's priciest home to have sold this year. This one just fetched $111 million. They say the property is just 8,032 square feet, and it comes with a private garden, a swimming pool, and a parking space. 111 million bucks. And you get a parking space. This property, of course, is located in one of the ritziest parts of Hong Kong in a neighborhood called Shuzhen Hill. There's not much information available online about Shuzhen Hill, but as you can see here, the hill slopes pretty steep towards the bay, and it has a good amount of vegetation mixed in with pretty heavy real estate development. I found the website for the development where this $111 million property was sold. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this website is not the most user-friendly, but you can see the homepage here. It's got a bunch of moving graphics and sales language about the connection with nature that you get here, how the area moisturizes your inner peace, I guess, and then, of course, how this region is energized by the sea. Then there's a small photo gallery. I think that what's going on here is that each of these units in the front area are the residences, so maybe the $111 million unit is one of these. Not sure though, don't quote me on that. Then the other photos in the gallery are just different angles of the property. Like I said, it's super lush around here, tons of vegetation. Then if we go back to the top, these other tabs either led me to a dead end or led me somewhere that didn't have much English. Like this document here is called the Register of Transactions. It looks like they're saying that House 7 and House 11 have already sold, and these sold for $870 million and $435 million. That doesn't sound right. I'm sure I'm missing something with the currency exchange here. Anyways, I went back to The Real Deal and the other outlets who reported on this news, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to dig up any photos of the interior of this property that just sold. I did find this website that has a short promotional video that shows some of what we've already seen, plus it gets into some more photos that I'm assuming are the interior photos of one of these units. But again, I've got no idea what all that text on the screen says, unfortunately, so I can't be sure. Now, these properties that we looked at today are definitely not the only homes that are listed in the United States and around the world with that $100 million plus price tag. These are just the ones that are making headlines lately. If you look around on Zillow, there's 6 or 7 listings in California, all priced over $100 million bucks, although some of these are just huge plots of land. There's a couple more properties in Colorado, in Aspen and Placerville. And then of course, there's a handful for sale in the New York area, one which we already talked about earlier today. It's easy for you or me to say, oh, if I was a billionaire, I would never spend this kind of money on a house. But let's be honest, most of us will never know what it's like to be a billionaire, but when you have that kind of money, you can basically spend it on anything you want. You'll never run out, and you'll still have plenty to give back to charities and all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hit the like button or leave a comment down below if you did. I'll see you next time.